It's since emerged that, in fact, Janusz Waluś is something of a hero. He's seen as a hero by some parts of Polish society, particularly football fans. Professor Rafal Pankowski is a professor at the Institute of Sociology at Collegium Civitas in Poland. He's also a member of an organization called Never Again. They fight fascism. Professor, good afternoon to you, and I really appreciate your time from Poland. Thank you. For us in South Africa, Janusz Waluś is a person who tried to create a civil war. Why is he a hero to some people in Poland?
Well, let me stress that Poland has some wonderful traditions of anti-racism and international solidarity. But it is true there are certain far-right racist elements in Poland, in Polish society, that consider Janusz Waluś a role model, a hero. And like you said, this is particularly often expressed through banners displayed at football games at several Polish clubs in several Polish cities. There is very clearly a support network focusing on promoting the symbolism, the ideology, and the name of Janusz Waluś among younger people in Poland.
Why, I suppose, is the question. Is it because, I mean, I realize that Poland was sort of governed, was occupied maybe by a communist government, and Chris Hani, our Chris Hani, was a leader of the South African Communist Party. Is it about that, or is it straight sort of white supremacy and racism?
Well, I don't think it can be explained simply by evoking anti-communism. I don't think that's the only explanation. I think it is a more general illustration of the growth of the racist and neo-fascist movements of the far right, both in Poland and in other countries in Europe and beyond. Especially in the region of Central and Eastern Europe today, there is a growing authoritarian and xenophobic tendency, and there is also an element of acceptance for political violence, and I think Janusz Waluś becomes a symbol of that growing acceptance of far right violence among some extremist elements in a country like Poland today.
There's an amazing story about the online marketplace, OLX, which is actually owned by Naspers, which is a South African company. It was selling material around Janusz Waluś, scarves, flags, that sort of thing, for football fans. They were celebrating a racist. I mean, is that even allowed under Polish law?
Well, I would say that should be seen as illegal. I would consider it illegal under Polish law. But yes, it did happen. This kind of gadgets, scarves, and T-shirts have been produced and distributed in Poland. And we actually raised this issue with the company. We also raised the issue of other racist and neo-Nazi propaganda items that were sold on the platform. And I have to say that the company has reacted in a good way, and now we have a good cooperation getting rid of these kind of objects from that particular platform.
So what would happen then if Janusz Waluś was released, will probably be released by our system? If he went to Poland, how would he be seen? I mean, would he be appearing as a star at football matches? I mean, would he be celebrated? I mean, just the thought actually makes me want to feel sick.
Well, I think that is exactly what could happen. I know for a fact that Janusz Waluś has been in contact with his supporters from Poland, including the far-right extremists and the football fan groups that organized collections for his legal fund. And I think if he ever comes to Poland, that would likely be considered a big victory for the Polish and international far right and the racists, and that would be considered an encouragement, a kind of extra legitimacy for the kind of ideology and the kind of violence that Janusz Waluś symbolizes for them.
I mean, could it even lead to more violence? He would be seen as a sort of hero. I mean...
yes, I think that would be a sort of encouragement for far-right and racist violence in Poland as well as internationally. That would be my worry, definitely.
How does the Polish government, your government, feel about this? I mean, does it have a strong view, one way or another, about this kind of rise in right-wing fascism, this right-wing extremism, this racism?
Well, that is a big part of the problem, unfortunately. I think that the sort of boundary between political extremism and the political mainstream has been blurred in Poland as well as in other countries. And there are certain Polish politicians, political leaders on the extreme right, but also politicians on the level of parliament who supported the glorification of Janusz Waluś. So there are certainly at least some politicians in the Polish political spectrum who actually subscribe to the glorification of Janusz Waluś and what he stands for.
This all seems to be tied up with football. Why is it connected to football?
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the reasons is that the football fan culture in Eastern and Central Europe, including Poland, has been very strongly influenced by the culture, by the symbolism of the extreme right. So it's not uncommon, unfortunately, it's not uncommon for football games in Central and Eastern Europe to become sites where racist and fascist symbols are displayed, where racist and fascist chants can be heard, and also the pictures, the banners of glorification with Janusz Waluś's face on them. That is a part of that far-right racist culture in those stadiums.
Professor, thank you so much. Professor Rafal Pankowski is a professor in the Institute of Sociology at the Collegium Civitas, also a member of the organization Never Again.